Hello and welcome to Chronically Happy Infusion Day. So, since my hands are pretty darn clean, I can still do some sanitizer on my part to help. Don't mind the background noise. My mom is on the phone with my aunt. So, we're just going to continue on anyways with the recording. Alright. So I had to make sure I had all my supplies ready to go and laid out on the table, which is the picture that you saw on my thumbnail. It is my infusion day. So first things first, get all the packages ready to go, get the locks taken down, make sure that my infusion meds are clear with no impurities in them, pulling up to the light. I also need to affix the label of each one in this book. Or I need to affix the lot number, so in case there are any kind of reactions or something, or some kind of impurity that somehow I didn't see, then they know that it was tainted batch, or something like that. They're just trying to double check everything. I'll get that ready to go. There's one syringe ready to go. Trying to do this quickly because I only have 2 hours until my brother and sister-in-law arrive, and I'm trying to have my infusion finished by then. And I also still have to write all of everybody's gifts. So I messed up the last one royally. I still don't have the guts to post it yet, but after I do the correct one, I will maybe post the one I did it wrong in. So this time I'm going to make sure I don't do it the wrong way. And I know what I did wrong. I left too much air in the syringe. I had it pulled out all the way and had the medicine go in, rather than have the medicine push the plunger down. And that is where I went wrong last time, 100%. It sucks, but it is what it is. And to protect the tip of my needle or plunger, I have to put this red thing cap on until it's ready to use, so I don't contaminate anything in the process. So it's just making sure you have everything laid out ahead of time, and it can be done where I can use one plunger for the actual loading dose. However, since I messed up last time trying to put it all into one, I'm doing it in two this time. I don't want to try and push it again. I'm not going to do what I did last time. I definitely learned from my mistake, and I'm going to move forward from it. Here is the needle set that is used to inject it into my subcutaneous layer in between my skin and all my fat, into my connective tissue, which also then stabilizes my mast cells in my connective tissue. And then it gives me some stability with my pain and my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, miraculously. Only short term, but it happens. So there's been some controversy, whereas in the support groups, on whether to prime to make sure that the medicine comes to the needles. Well, I'm going to just clamp it off right before the needles, and I'll prime it to right beforehand. If that even works, I don't even know, but I'll do what it takes. And I have a needle sharp container right here to put the needle set in once it's complete. The needles are not very long. They are this long. So I'm going to put the protector back on until I'm ready to stick myself. And then we got the flow meter. This is what regulates how fast the medicine goes through the tubing. It's the size of the tubing that matters. So what I do is I connect these to this. Okay, then that's connected now. Okay, so now we got the needle set all connected up to the flow meter set. And then this will eventually go on to this. All right, so now it is time. Boy, am I nervous. I'm going to pause it for a second to double check the directions. All right, I just double checked everything. I want to make sure I'm doing everything correctly with my fill tubes. So this is the flow meter. This is how I transfer the pre-filled syringes of medicine into the loading syringe. All right, so double check, it's all clear. It doesn't look like it's cloudy or has any particles in there. Never touch once you take these two caps off, never touch the inside of it. Okay, and then this goes directly onto actually, let me put that back on for a sec. I want to make sure that this is all the way at the tip. Okay, now I'm going to connect it to this tube. This is where I went wrong last time. I had this plunger all the way down, so there was too much air and it pushed it all out the bottom. I learned from that. So now I'm only going to push the syringe to fill the medicine up like this. There's one dose. I'm going to put this cap back on while I wait a minute. There's one syringe. Double check this guy. Good to go. I'm going to put the next dose in. Okay, now that is all I'm going to put in this one because I don't want to mess this up like I did last time. I'm too nervous about putting it all into one syringe, even though my nurse and I did it correctly before with all of them in one syringe. We're just not going to do that. We're going to do 2 syringes just to ensure that I don't mess this up this time. And this, go into this cap here. In fact, I think I just touched it, so we're gonna start with a new little piece. I gotta go grab it. Be right back. Okay, so now I got a new one just for the second syringe, just because I'm nervous about having any air touch all this stuff, so make sure this guy works. Okay. That's the wrong, is that the right end? Yes, it is. Okay. There, so now I have all these caps and stuff everywhere. But that's okay. As long as everything is sanitary and I'm not going to get any kind of infection within my layers. Now, this is officially what you should do when you have more than enough for one syringe. So now I'm going to pull this off and I'm going to put the red cap on until we are ready to use this one. Okay, so now we're all good to go. All those caps are good to go, all done, one time use. Now it is connecting. Let me go double check. I'm going to double check my instructions. So I think I'm going to start with the smaller dose. And then I can, you know, make sure everything is going in here nice and smooth after I get my noodle set up. Actually, I don't put it in the bucket. I just need to get the right tubing connected here. This is the flow meter that I'm screwing onto the pump. And then I need to start priming and see the fluid go all the way down. I can see it going through the liquid and going through all the tubing. Sometimes I gotta hold it up to the light to see how far it's going. Now it's distributing between the 4 tubes now. Alright, making sure everything's screwed on good. Alright. Gotta keep priming until I can get to where it's clamped off. I can see the liquid going all the way down through one of the tubes more than the other three. But I'm just gonna let the pump do the work. And I screw it and screw it and screw it until it hits the edge of the plunger. And now it's pressurizing itself to push itself through the tubes. And so once it reaches my clamps, I can then put the needles in. Okay, I made it to that one. Now the other tubes need to catch up. Why is it still coming through? Okay, I need to clamp it and release this. It's already starting to come out the needle out of the one tube. I don't know why. It's clamped, it shouldn't be going through and hitting the needle so soon. Okay, now I gotta take all the things off the needles. I've got to get myself prepared for the infusion sites. I don't know why it's not going through the other tubing. Seems like it's all going through one tube. Okay, now still looks like it's going through one and not all the others. Stop leaking. It is just going like crazy through one of these needles and not the others. I've loosened it up. I've clamped this off to keep it from going right now. I don't know why it's not going through all the tubes. It's all wanting to go through two tubes and not the other. Weird. Anyway, I better start prepping myself. I don't want to waste any more meds going through these needles. I'm going to have to just get some air into my subcutaneous layer. So, in preparation, I use alcohol prep pad. Alright, there's my big infusion site. So I'm going to go ahead and put the one that's leaking first on. I need to get a Tagaderm patch ready to go to put over the top of it. This is the hard part. Oh, I just dropped all those needles on the floor. Alright, I have to pinch it and then stick it straight up and down. And get the Tagaderm patch over it to keep it down. I'm gonna have to unpinch the freaking tubing. There we go. So one of the tubes is already going into my skin, so I'm not wasting any medicine at this point. Now I got one in. Alright, and then, alright, we're going to do alcohol prep pad on the needles too, just in case, because they did fall and hit the ground when I was trying to get it in. Get that alcohol prep pad. We're going to do another wipe here. They have to be at least 2 inches apart. I think I'll go higher up on my thigh for the other one. Now I need a Tagaderm patch ready to go. It's so hard to do this. It's so hard to do by oneself. Having to make sure I have all these things ready to go and not these fall on the floor this time. I'll set them on top of me. Pinch. get the Tegaderm over the top of it to keep it down, laying down flat so it doesn't come out. And I gotta unclamp it so medicine is allowed to go through it. I'm probably gonna get some air through that one. All right, there's one leg already ready for infusion. I'm gonna unclamp these because maybe it's the clamping is why I wasn't allowing it to go through those two tubes and the only other two anyways. So go like this. We're gonna try and prime some more into the other tubes. This one's not gotten any either yet. Well, anyway, so it goes, the pump is like this, and you make it fit like that, and then turn it, and then you just tighten this up until it gets to the very end. So this medicine's going to be coming out really soon if I don't hurry up and get it stabbed. At least I used the smaller dose instead of the larger dose to start with because I wanted to make sure I didn't waste any of the major amount of it. So again, prep pad with the alcohol before I poke. I'm also doing alcohol on the needles again just to make sure there's nothing on them and hopefully nothing went in them. And now it's time for the Tegaderm patch. Do the pinching. I'm probably going to get a lot of air in here. All right, now this one's finally starting to get alcohol or the medicine through. Damn it. All right, I need to get the alcohol prep pad now. It is certainly going. I'm racing against time to get it in my skin. This is minimal to what I wasted a few days ago. Maybe I'll pinch this one off for a second. Stop coming out the end. Stop coming out the end yet, please. Let me clean this up a little bit. I don't want to get my skin with it. All right. Now you stick the Tegaderm here. All right, now I think one more alcohol prep. Just to make sure everything's cleanly. That one felt a little nervy. I have a bruise from that one. That's okay, I don't care. At least I got it on. Now I can unclamp it and allow the medicine to go through. Now I have all 4 of my needle sets ready for infusion. I'm already infusing. I started more so on the left side. So this is what it looks like with all my infusion needles in my thighs. These are my shorts. Not underwear, they come built into my skirt. So that is what the infusion sites look like with all the needles attached. I know I couldn't do all of it in view of the camera, but the hardest part is done, and that is getting the needles in and the fluid into the syringes. And then the hardest part is going to be swapping these out when I'm done. So, and then the next thing is I have the other one waiting with the cap already on. And now, while I wait, I'm going to put this in its case. And what's great is it has a see-through little area so you can see how much has been infused at the time. So I can just keep looking in there. Now I am all set up. I am all started. My infusion's already going. These are extra alcohol prep pads. This is the gauze for afterwards, and the tape to put this over it. But honestly, I think I'm going to use the Tagaderm instead of this tape to put over it. I have plenty of Tagaderm patches, so I will just do that. This is one of my medical supply bags. So, for good measure, just what my nurse did when she was here, to be helpful and observe me to make sure that I did things correctly, making sure all my stuff's all unclamped. Okay, good to go. Needles are all in, infusion's going. Alright, I need to do my initial, I did better with my first video, the first time around when I went to record, and then had my medicine go all out the plunger. I did everything slow and in a very orderly fashion. A little bit better instructions on what to do. But this is a learning process, and you know, it is what it is. Things happen, accidents happen, and I should have known better. I just should have known better. You know, I'm so glad that I got the rest of my medicine here. Hydrate. I don't even have my butt cushion right now. I'm not even that prepared. (98/68), 97 pulse, temperature, (99.2). This is my do not look into the light directly. This is my sanitizer from COVID. Sanitizes things with its waves. And I just got to double check this temperature. I'll try one more of those two. (89/62). That's even lower. 84 pulse. Come on. I thought it was doing my temp. $97.6. I'll start with that one. 97.6. That sounds more like it. Third time's a charm with this. $91/65 of 70. It's just steadily going down. Well, we'll keep that first initial one. That's the higher one of the three. Temperature. Those are all my pre readings. So we got that recorded. Let's say about the same. Right. So what I was just recording was it wants to know, after my last Hizentra infusion, I wrote about the same. Please explain. Well, every time I have this immunoglobulin treatment, I get into a mast cell flare afterwards, and for a few days. But then after that, the mast cells stabilize themselves, and then I am more stable. But due to the timing of infusion, it was like on its very last couple days of inflammation from, it was towards the end of the mast cell flare when I fell and hit my knees, and then I was late with this infusion. But when I fell hard on my knees, it prevented the stability from happening the way it usually does, because my body was fighting it because of the new acute injury. So between the end of the mast cell flare and then the new acute injury, there was like a weird influx of like major instability, but also more stability in the way that it kept going back to the pattern of muscle memory of my pain pattern where it was like 2 or 3 months ago. It's weird. It's really weird to explain, but I wrote it the best that I could, and then it asked about side effects I may have experienced, and so I said, not as bad of a mast cell response, but inflammation in left hip and SI joints major after December 11th fall. It doesn't ask for my BP and all that stuff, but that's what the infusion nurse checks before, during, and after my infusion to see, just to make sure that I'm not going into some kind of major, problem or anything. I just gotta be checking. Oh, what time did I start my infusion? That's what I forgot to put down. So it started right around, I'm gonna say 4:30. I think that might be a little early, but we'll see. we'll see with timing. And then I just gotta double check this to make sure that it's moving. And I don't have to, and I might have to tighten this up again. Until it's tight. Well, I tightened it all the way down. So I should be infusing a lot more now. Didn't seem like it was moving much, but yeah, hopefully it's gonna, I'm not too far behind in my delay now. Okay, nothing's clamped, everything's good to go. Right now. There we go with all that. That's good to go. Right. We'll check it in like 5-10 minutes to see where it's at. I'm going to be right back. All right, it's definitely infusing. It is now down to the 10 milliliter mark. So I've only got 10 milliliters to go left before I swap out syringes. So yeah. Doing good, doing good. So that's what it's like to infuse, guys. Y'all have any questions about how this goes? I don't know if it's really necessary to show the swap out. Maybe I should, and then I'll end the video there. But once I'm done with this little bit of medicine, I'll redo my vitals, and then I'll go ahead and put the next loading syringe in. I am looking forward to getting this done. Oh, then I can start wrapping Christmas gifts. Because dinner is in an hour and 15 minutes, and I sure hope this can sure go that fast. And I need to try and hydrate as much as possible. I didn't take my pre-meds. I gotta go take them now. I was just in a hurry to get it started. I had to get this started with the timing of dinner and everything. The redelivery was a little bit later in the day than I was hoping, but I'm glad I got it. I'm so thankful that I got it. It was the best outcome that could have happened from me wasting that entire dose. So I'm going to go ahead and post that one too. I'm probably going to edit the very end of it off if I can figure out how. Just so y'all know, it's maybe a more thorough process of how to do everything, but you'll see where I went wrong, and you'll see how I was successful compared to last time versus this time. So this is the correct way to do things. The preparation was so much better in my first video that I did. So just so you'll want to watch both, so you can see how good a preparation it is when you're not in a hurry. And then, gosh, I'm almost getting to know the process like the back of my hand, but I'm going to make sure I'm cautious each time. I'm not going to have another accident like I had before. I'm going to be okay. Thank you guys so much, and I will be back soon. Actually, I'm going to end this now because there's some video chats I need to join, so peace out.